Good morning. Good morning, Marcus. I got to tell you, buddy, I was over here just dancing and jiving with the beat, and I never pressed go live. So thank goodness I caught that like at the last moment. Happy Monday to you, buddy.
Happy Monday, sir. Good to see everybody out there from Connecticut today in the new digs, in the new office. And yet, it's the same show, the same setup, and the same morning wake up, check up from the neck up that we bring to you every day. Welcome to Grow, everybody. And we're super excited to be here today. Kyle, this week, as we were talking pre-show, this week has a unique name to it when it comes to like yearly goals and everything of that nature. So that's going to be kind of the theme of what we're talking about today. What's the name of this week, sir?
Unfortunately, there is such a predisposition for this activity that the entire week is named for it. It's called Quitters Week, Marcus. Quitters Week.
Not today, sir. Not on our watch. Not ever happening. Man, Quitters Week. I think that has some details that we need to cover today so that we can avoid being a part of the norm of the crowd that goes into that world. So before we get there, man, as we roll these out, have this ever happened to you? You make a goal and then 1, 2, 3 weeks in, it's just like, it's gone. Has that ever happened to you?
Brother, it happens to me still.
What, you're not perfect? Wait a minute.
Oh, man, not at all, dude. Not at all.
Well, we were running this show, so now we've got to let everybody know we're not perfect. All right, so that's step one. Number two, man, when you find yourself falling short, what is it that really kind of either one lets you know that it's okay to fall short because you were never in love with that goal anyway, or two, kind of re-amp and get back in the game?
Man, I think literally number one, and this is going to sound so simplistic, and it's because it is, guys. A lot of times life is simplistic and we overcomplicate it. Start over. Like
Yeah.
literally just start again. Don't mourn it. Like don't push it off further. Don't say this wasn't for me. Literally, if you fail, just start again and just go. That's the secret sauce, man. Like that's how we win. So for me, it's like giving myself the grace of, hey, you know what? I'm fallible, man. I fail all the time, but I'm gonna go right now.
Yeah, I think that creates the resiliency that we're all looking for, right? And when I think about starting again, sometimes in our heads it's like, well, if we failed once, then it's a failure on that entire endeavor, and that's not the case at all. Failure, when reflected upon, just gives you an opportunity to grow in, do it the second time, and yet do it with a different style, a different system, a different approach that may benefit and actually achieve that goal. Man, I got to tell you, the one big thing for me is whenever I fall short on a goal, I go back. The first thing I do is I go back and I analyze how truly in love and intentional I was with that goal. Did I just make the goal to make it, or because it was like a trend perhaps that was going around on Facebook, or just something that somebody had suggested that they were doing in their life and I felt compelled to say, you know what, I'll do that too? Or did I actually make a goal with a plan designed around something truly for me and that I knew was growing? I think a lot of times, man, when I fall short, it was because I wasn't actually fully invested from the beginning. So why don't we go into a couple things around how we can stay accountable? And yes, we said the A word, ladies and gentlemen. How we can stay accountable in this approach as we attack 2025. And I'm going to lead off with a quote, buddy. I like this one. Accountability separates the wishers in life from the action takers that care enough about their future to account for their daily actions. I like that one. That was John D. Lemieux. And that one, to me, I hear wishers versus action doers, and automatically my competitive juices get flowing.
Well, man, I mean, we can't give the fix, by the way, banger of a quote. We can't give the fix unless we first understand why. Why are we here? What happened, right? And again, it doesn't matter if you failed. It doesn't matter if you lost. It doesn't matter if you missed. We got to start again. And like Marcus said, reflect on what went wrong. How do we change it? Well, here's some of the things that make it go wrong more often than not. Unrealistic goals. Marcus, this year I'm going to lose 300 pounds. Okay, listen, guys, how do I say this properly? There's a dichotomy inside of me around the word unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
part of me is like, dream big, bro. Like, do not be held down by the shackles of limiting belief. The other part of me is when we set appropriate goals, we tend to hit them and build upon them. I'm not telling you not to dream big. What I'm telling you to do is have appropriate time horizons for your big dream. If it's to conquer the real estate world, please don't make your goal 12 months.
I have been fascinated sitting down with new agents, either joining the team or joining real estate. And I'm like, all right, cool. What's your income going? They're like $1 million. I'm like, all right, by when? This year. I'm like, okay, how many appointments do you already have been set? Like, do you have a neighborhood? Like, I got questions, right? And I love the energy. I love the big thinking because we believe in no limitations on our thinking. And yet, I also know, I'll use your weight example. If I say 300 and I'm trending for losing 60 pounds that year, one, I'm not going to be happy with the 60. And then two, I'll probably get deflated that it's not 300. However, if I say I'm going to choose to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months, and I get to 20, right? Or I get to 15, I already feel that momentum. Mentally, I feel like, okay, I can get here. And hey, when I hit 20, I actually have developed the habits and momentum to go ahead and probably lean into 25 if I need to, or 30, and start that snowball effect versus always going uphill. We're not saying make goals smaller. We're saying make sure they are realistic. And I'll go back to a Gary quote that he gives us. We always overestimate what we can do in 1 year and grossly underestimate what we can do in 5. So maybe you got a great goal, and yet what is your timeline horizon? That's a great point, Kyle.
I think it goes with the second part is lack of planning, Marcus.
Yeah.
Like, guys, we got to plan. Is it weight? Is it lead generation? Is it debt removal? Is it investing? Like, whatever your thing is, whatever your resolution, your goal, your inspiration is, make sure you plan around it, people. Trust, this is coming from a high D. This is coming from someone who just wants to go and get messy. And there's a better way.
There is indeed, man. I think it goes back to instant gratification too, which is one of our other points. And yet it's instant gratification for the good, but it's also instant gratification to get rid of the bad, right? If it's dead, if it's weight, if it's whatever that's not serving you, it'd be great to just set it down and be done. And yet that's that instant gratification that we're going to fight against. If you make a plan and start chipping away at it, chipping away at it, let the victories in your head be when you're ahead of that plan, not necessarily that you haven't achieved the ultimate goal yet. If I'm supposed to lose a pound per week over a certain course of time, and all of a sudden I hit 2, ooh, I'm ahead. I'm not going to stop the acceleration. I'm not going to go off the plan. And yet I get to celebrate those small wins, which inevitably creates a love of the journey versus a love of the result.
Well, that's just leads us right into this burnout, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
please don't be a bottle rocket this year. Go out hard, strong, bright, and brilliant, and then pop, and you're done.
Yeah.
Guys, wins are going to happen. That's great. And Jordan Freed, awesome coach, by the way. Jordan, come hang out with us. Talks about this a lot in his disdain's not the right word. It's too strong, but I'm going to use it here for 75 hard. Does 75 hard work? Yes. Does he think it's the best way? No. Here's why. Because it's too much of a shift in another direction. And so sometimes we set too strong. We start out too strong without proper pacing, right? Without proper guardrails, without proper muscle building before, and that leads to burnout, which usually when we burn out, we don't start again. We say, nah, this one's not for me. So like agents, if your goal this year is higher than last and you're like every single day, 5 hours of lead generation, let's go. My question for you is this: are you consistent with it? Has it been staying consistent? Write this down, tattooed on your brain. Consistency beats intensity.
All day.
Consistency beats intensity.
All day, man. And you said burnout to the point where we just stop going after it, whatever. There's also a burnout to where we are just showing up as a shell of ourselves.
Heard that.
As a lower percentage of what we could actually bring. So burnout's got different forms. It's not just stopping altogether. You're showing up and people are like, hey, you okay today? Hey, you seem tired. You know, those really very uplifting words from certain
Thanks.
folks. Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me go back and get another coffee. And yet if you're feeling feeling like that, getting feedback like that, maybe it's time to check the battery life and see how we're doing there. You got to take care of your cup before you pour into everybody else's. Man, that leads us into number 5 on ours. No support system, Kyle.
We will beat this drum until the drum is no longer more, man. You got to have support in your life, period.
You have to, but no matter if it's a 75 hard or if it's a simple 3 walks per week, an accountability system, people on the same road with you. Man, Mel Robbins was actually on an interview here recently. I saw it on a podcast about her new book. And she was talking about the camaraderie and how we are shaped in the high school and college levels. And then once you get out of there, what friendships look like. And she said, you got to think in the school setting, everybody is in the same arena. Everybody is pursuing the same goal. And then all of a sudden you graduate and now you're left to your own devices to go get your own goals, to do this, that, and the other. And a lot of people from that school setting to the professional career, they have some hurdles to jump through. And it's not necessarily because they're lacking skill set or lacking the systems, because they've been using the systems to accomplish all the goals. And yet it's now they're solo dolo. So who on your side can be that support system with a common theme, a common goal, or a common mindset around hitting that goal?
Guys, don't do it alone. We're tribal creatures. We're meant to be connected. Let's get some support system. Raise your hand. Get out there. Get in the chat. There's a bunch of people, hundreds of you listen to this every single day. Raise your hand. My life changed when I just started raising my hand. Like, I just stopped caring about pride, if you will, or ego, and everything kind of falls into place when you do that. So go find some support. And here's the thing, just want to shake people with love. A lot of times, guys, we self-isolate. We put ourselves on islands and we tell ourselves, and see if this resonates with you, it's just me. I'm just a failure. I just struggle with this. I just have this problem. No one else does. Poppycock. I had literally multiple coaching clients. Yeah, guys, I'm a MAPS coach. Multiple coaching clients reach out to me literally yesterday, probably in the midst of the Sunday scaries, and say, hey, call me or text me at 5 a.m. to make sure I'm awake. And you know what I said? Bet. Because daddy's up and getting it. And so I'm like, you're going to get it. You want the accountability? Let's go. But I had to applaud them because, one, asked for help.
Yeah.
Right? It's not ego. It's not saying, oh, I'm just this boss. It's like, hey, man, I'm actually struggling with this. Can you help me? And guess what the answer was? Absolutely.
Well, asking for help is refusing to get up, and we give up. We have repeatedly said that, right? Because asking for help is kind of a bad thing to do, right? And depending on how you were raised in the programming back there. So I love that your clients, one, feel like they can approach you with that, and two, are taking action for themselves to do that. Kyle, when I think about accountability and maybe that quitter's week battling in, how do we combat that quitter's week? How do we overcome, shall we say, that quitter's week and that mentality?
Man, there's a thing that we've mentioned before on the show, and I believe I mentioned it last week coming in here. Guys, it's called the 15th protocol. I'm not sure where it came from. Shame on me. Shout out to whoever invented it. It's essentially this. At the 15th day of the month,
yes, sir,
you are not halfway or more to your monthly goal. By the way, there's a lot of nuance there. Number one is knowing what your monthly goal is, tracking your progress as it goes. Anyway, I digress. But if you're not halfway to that goal, we have to increase the activities to get back on track.
Yeah, so I don't know where it originated, and yet I do know our team leaders across the country use this at a high level in their market centers when it comes to how many changed lives they have for that week or that month. And changed lives can also translate to recruits, right? How many people have come into the market center? At the 15th, they initiate the 15th protocol, which essentially breaks down to, forget some of the details, it breaks down to your big rocks, or the biggest things that are going to move the needle forward in your business. So what do you let go of at the 15th that maybe has been taking up your time, attention, spinning the wheels, and yet not serving you in any direction? So you get into the meat and potatoes, get into just the lead gen. How many appointments am I making? How many do I choose to make this week? And then that's that 15th protocol, that reset of how I'm approaching this. Yet the how is only a part of it. I think getting through some of those quitters weeks, one of them is revisiting your why and why you're even showing up for everything. Would you agree?
Definitely, man. I think you got to have gas in the tank to make the engine go, guys. Again, like Gary says, if we have all these dreams and ambitions and stuff, and we're not actually taking action, we're just living a great life in our head.
That's it, man. That's it. That's it.
Marcus, being the 15th, right? What can we give them tactically today on this Monday, knowing that the 15th is just a couple days away, and then get them out, get them going, and then see them in the morning?
Well, first and foremost, whatever your results are up until this point they are the results from the tactics and approach you've already taken. Okay. So we already have a little bit of proof source. Does that serve you? And if you're sitting here listening, like, I haven't made but 5 phone calls all week or all month or all year, right? Whatever. I can say all those in the same sentence pretty much. Well, no phone calls is an action step, right?
Mhm.
And if that's not serving you, then we get to do that. Maybe cold calls have been what I've been doing, and yet it's not serving me. Yes. So do I need to switch a little bit and get into my database, get warmer leads, past clients, maybe an open house or two, aka adjust my approach depending on the results that I've gotten so far. And hey, now some of these, they deserve more time on task over time, right? Cold calls take more time to generate. So if you do have another source, awesome. If not, there's only 2 things that are preventing success. One, the volume of what we're doing, or 2, the quality of what we're doing, right? So the words that I'm saying, the conversations that I'm actually ensuing, or maybe I just called 10 when I should have called 100. So revisit those and make some adjustments along the way so you can double down these last 2 weeks.
Let's go, guys. This is your results are not about judgment. It's simply about awareness. What
Correct.
have you been doing and what do we need to change? Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes today and recalibrate, because the 15th, just like Game of Thrones, winter is coming. The 15th is coming. And if you are not halfway to where you need to be, it is time to increase that accountability. Marcus, that's what I got for them today, man. Anything else? Any parting words for the people of the internet before me and you go and get busy building this Constellation home sales?
I got one small thing, man. I have from time to time heard clients say, well, I haven't done good the first 2 weeks. So I'm just, I'm just going to pick it up next month. Right. And that mindset becomes a habit. I'm going to invite you that if you haven't quite won the first 13 days of the week or the month, make sure that you don't lose another 17 just because default. All right. Yeah, everybody falls short from time to time. How dare you not be a perfect human being? And instead of making that excuse to carry over, double down and make sure you win the month and not lose it. All right. So I'm just going to invite you. Forget what's in the past and the rear view. The windshield's a whole lot bigger. Let's focus on what we can do today and tomorrow moving forward. Either way, we're proud of you. We're here for you. And we're going to show up tomorrow yelling at you again with some more goodies. All right. Mr. Kyle Evans, thank you for your time, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the horse's mouth himself. Let's go get it today. Love you, mean it.
See y'all.